Hello and welcome back, poker fans, to the final installment of a huge weekend of poker here at the Full Throttle Open here at the Speedway Event Center. We had a bounty tournament today, and we have gotten down to our final table. Round of applause to everyone here. Everyone has outlasted 94 players. We're down to 9 players left. On my right here is Mike Columbus. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Yep, everything's going good.
And we have what's our top prize here today? It's going to be somewhere around $3,000, between $3,000 and $4,000. Mike, if you win here today, what are you going to do with the money?
Probably buy my wife something good.
Something good keeps it nice and vague, so that whatever it is, yeah, it's going to be good. And Heidi over here to my left, Heidi, if you were to win our top prize here tonight, what would you do with the winnings?
Probably play more poker, let's be honest.
Gonna play some more poker, maybe head down to the cities and get some big games going. But who here thinks they're going to win? Just a few? Okay, this seems to be a running theme that no one really wants to win the grand prize. But we're going to get things started here. We're going to crown a champion. We have a trophy on the line. We got a nice prize pool. So let's get Randy in here to shuffle up and deal. And good luck, players. Okay, and we are back in the booth here, and we are ready to start the bounty tournament. So what was happening today is $200 buy-in, and you see those black and pink chips on the table. Those are worth $100 each. So every person that was knocked out of the tournament here today received a bounty chip worth $100. So you can see some of these players have 3, 4, 5, 6 chips in front of them. So they definitely have already made their money, but we have more money to be won here tonight. And we'll go ahead and start introducing our players as we get started into our first hand. Hopefully tonight we can get through intros without knocking out 3 players. That was definitely a wild start to a final table, but there you see in seat 1, Heidi Rogenkamp of Fargo. She's going to start with $228,000. Seat 2, Tiny from Hawaii. He is our chip leader by a long shot. $749,000 in chips. Kim Rasmussen in seat 3. $287,000 in chips coming from Foreman, North Dakota. Seat 4, Taylor Collins of Moorhead. $209,000 in his starting stack. Seat 5, Bob Silskar, the professor out of Mayville, $234,000. Seat 6, you know him from last night. I mean, just a huge run. Second place, won about $7K last night. Awesome Bossum of Moorhead. He's starting with $232,000 in chips. Seat 7, Satya Vegi of West Fargo, $264,000. Seat 8, Adam Haskins of West Fargo, $264,000. And rounding off our table here in seat 9, Mike Columbus of Red Lake Falls, Minnesota, $230,000 in starting chips. I think we had to do just a quick pause of the clock. I think we might have had a small technical difficulty. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe a camera angle's not so good. There we go. We just need to get those guys' faces in there a little bit better, Bossum and Satya. So yeah, as I said before, this is our 3rd installment of tournaments this weekend. Friday was our Super Satellite night, giving away a bunch of seats into either yesterday's tournament, the main event, or today's. So should have had our payouts up on my phone to refer to. I kind of blanked on that, but top prize here tonight, $4,310. So nice little prize pool here. The first couple people to go out, or first person to go out here on the final table, will be taking home $400 plus whatever they may have in bounty chips. So you can see here Heidi, I think, has 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 bounty chips. Tiny looks to have a couple. And these players are going to have, each player received 1 bounty chip. So we'll just subtract 1 from their chip stack. If we see they have like 4 or 5, if they have 5, they really have $400 in bounties. Kim there in seat 3 looks to have maybe 5 bounty chips, maybe 4. Bob has maybe 3. Mike Columbus has a lot, and so does Mr. Haskins in seat 8. Looks like he could even shuffle those chips. Looks like they have 5 bounty chips apiece. So if you came to the Speedway this weekend, too many opportunities to win some money. If you didn't come away a winner, well, maybe you'll need to read a couple books on poker. Who knows? Maybe you got unlucky. But here, we'll finally get into the action here. So Bob Silskar starting off with King, Queen of clubs. Over to Mike will fold. Heidi folds, and Tiny, our monster chip stack lead here, it's going to fold over to Taylor Collins. He's in the big blind after Bob raised to 32,000, so Taylor will just have 20,000 more to call, but it's still a big enough percentage of his chip stack, and he just doesn't have good enough cards to really call, so he'll save himself 20,000 in chips and fold. Yeah, we would have had a little replay of last night's first 3 hands, just some quick snippets of it. But Ev, wakes up in the first hand of the final table with, I believe it was pocket kings. Second hand was, and he knocked out Ashley Halfdahl on that one. And then second hand wakes up with aces, knocks out another player, and then the third hand has ace 9. I believe he ended up getting quad 9s after the river, which was just, I mean, goodbye, and you can't beat that hand. So Ev, I believe he went out in 3rd place, but really insane story to go home and tell his friends and family. And really good action here on the Dakota Poker Tour. So as we continue on with our final table action here, really no action on that hand, just a bunch of folds. Also, last night, not sure if you guys were paying attention to the points race, but it's extremely close at the top with Nick. Now, I think this was his first tournament he played in this season, or at least the first time he's cashed in final tabled in the DPT this season. Wins 11,000. Just over $11,000, $11,230. Bossum had around 4,000 points, wins second place of 7,000. Bossum's in the lead on the leaderboard by 5 points over Nick. So he has edged him out by the narrowest of margins. But Tiny here, let's get to the action. Tiny here with 10-9 offsuit. He's going to raise to 32,000. Kim, big slick suited, will make the call. And Taylor with a couple of ladies. We'll see if he decides to call or raise here. See how aggressive he gets. And Taylor goes all in for 179,000. Might be seeing Kim call here. Is for most of his chip stack. Tiny, I don't think he's going anywhere with that 10-9, but he's going to ask for a chip count. Can't imagine Tiny calls here. 10-9, just not a strong hand. Still 9-handed. Taylor's not terribly short stacked to where he is needing to go all in. But with a couple of ladies, maybe he can pull something off here. All right, so Tiny's going to fold. He's going to make Taylor sweat it for a minute, and Kim snap calls. Taylor's not too happy to run into 2 overcards, so he just needs to dodge an ace, a king, and does not want to see clubs on the board. So we're going to go to a flop. Flop comes queen, 4-3. Those are all low cards, which is great for Taylor, but Kim has a open end or a gut shot. He needs to avoid an ace, king, or a 2 right now. There's a 3 on the turn. We've avoided all the clubs, but still needs to avoid an ace, king, or a 2 to double up off of Kim Rasmussen and an 8 of hearts on the river. Taylor Collins, huge double up off Kim Rasmussen here to start out his final table. Wow, so there we see Kim Rasmussen now, just 9 big blinds left, 108,000. We're going to see him in the position that Taylor was just in, kind of needing to go all in. But there's really, the middle of the pack is dang near the entire table, minus Kim, and then now Taylor commanding second place, double pretty much anyone else's chip stack on the table. So there we can see our payouts all the way at the top, 43.10. So some good money could be won here. Let's say Bossum wins here tonight. Always a threat at the table. If Bossum wins here tonight, you know, he's going to be killing it on the leaderboard. I was trying to hear what my guy was saying, Goose was saying, and he said, coming to you, Brian. And I'm like, wait, what did he say? I was like, oh, well, here I am. Welcome, everyone. My name's Brian of the Dakota Poker Tour. Thank you for tuning in on both Facebook and YouTube. If you're on that YouTubes, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you can be updated on all of the future live stream broadcasts of the Dakota Poker Tour. So, yeah, also another player in the top 5 of the leaderboard sitting to Bossum's left, Satya Vegi, 8,434 points with a win here today. 4,000. I mean, well, if Bossum goes out in the next few spots, all the way up to maybe 6th place, Satya Vegi could overtake Bossum on the leaderboard. So major implications with the leaderboard race here today, and we'll just see how things play out. And really with most players at that 200,000 chip mark, you know, it could go either way, and our average chip stack right now is going to be 295,000. So most people are at the average, but when you have Tiny sitting at the table with over 700K in chips, could definitely can be a bully out there. Be scared a little bit, but here we see Tiny waking up with queens. Adam's going to call. Actually, Tiny raised to 46,000. Bossum, ace 9. 40K to call. We'll see if he does. Bossum hopefully well rested, and from last night it was an absolute marathon of a day. It was a one-day tournament, and we went right up until 2 a.m. So Bossum definitely, if he bought in today right at noon, it's going to have looking at another 9-hour day thus far. So, yep, so Tiny will get everyone to fold, and he'll just be pulling in some more chips his way. Again, this is a bounty tournament, so $200 buy-in, $100 goes to the prize pool, and the other $100 goes to a bounty. Every player you knock out, you won yourself $100. So that's what those blue and pink chips are. They have a $100 value to them. So some of these players having 4, 5, 6 chips in front of them, well, that's just how much they'll be cashing out, no matter on top of what they've already earned here at the final table. So action will be on Mike first in the 9 seat. He folds. Heidi will fold. Tiny's going to look down at a couple cards here, and not good enough. Kim folds. Taylor pocket 5s. I guess my poker strategy with the low to mid pocket pairs generally is I kind of just want to see a flop, kind of limp in with mid to low pocket pair, but Taylor here is going to raise it up to 5-5 and this, or to 40,000. And this is kind of my reasoning behind not raising, is you might have, you're going to have 2 overcards if anyone else is in on the hand with you. So just as this is happening here, here's Bossum, ace 10 hits a 10. Taylor has bottom middle pair and doesn't spike any, hoping to get trips obviously with a low pocket pair. But here, quite dominated. He's going to need a 5 and a 5 only if he wants to get ahead in this hand. And I don't think Bossum's going anywhere from top pair. Taylor's going to have to change his narrative or his story up if he wants to get Bossum off his top pair. But that's the thing. Awesome Bossum is just such a savvy poker player that really in the few years I've been watching Bossum play and final tabling consistently, the only kink in his armor I've ever noticed was last night. Oh my God, and there Taylor hits his 5 on the turn. What a money card for Taylor. Bossum has no idea. Taylor taking his time. Take a look at his eyes are taking a long time to blink. Maybe that's part of the act. A little bit of tiredness. Really thinking through what he's going to bet here, and it looks like he's going to get quite a sizable bet. Going to be in the 100,000, 75,000. So this is definitely going to give Bossum a little pause for concern. What is going on here? What could he have hit? It's not a straight. Is he betting the flush draw? I mean, trips can always be in the back of your mind. Bossum, he's all in. Taylor's going to call immediately, and Bossum is going to most likely be looking at the door. So, wow. Bossum trying to be aggressive, which is his nature. He's already going to put, there's the river's a 3, and that's going to do it for Awesome Bossum. He is going to be out in 9th place, $400 taking home. So, here's where that comes into play. Bossum knocked out in 9th place. Satya Vegi in 5th place on the leaderboard, 8,434 points. With a win here tonight, I have to do some really quick, simple math that I cannot do because we're still tired from last night. But Satya's in the conversation for Player of the Year at this point. He does have 2 caches. Satya's had 2 final tables, and he is a winner in Season XI for the DPT. So Satya he's making a run for a 2-time winner here in Season XI. Going to join the ranks of multi-winner in a season of Cody Slusher. I believe Brandon Dosh has won 2 tournaments in a season. It's a little tough to do. You know, we don't put on 30, 40, 50 events a year. So each one of these Dakota Poker Tour events, really, you got to make them really count. And of course, there is 2 more events this year. And those 2 events will round off Season XI with the Tournament of Champions and the Player Appreciation Free Roll, and that will be May 22nd at Bar 9 in West Fargo. So if you have played in a DPT event this year, you are invited out. As well. That'll be at noon. Should be maybe just a couple tables. I think we're going to do more than nine events. I'm not sure how many we've had this year. And then at 2:30 will be the Player Appreciation Free Roll. So we'll have I believe, everything out there, the full live stream, all that stuff. So here, Mike Columbus, ace-8 into Taylor Collins, 4-3. Mike not catching any part of the flop. Taylor does get the 4. So Taylor will bet, and Mike will fold. So Taylor now, after knocking Bossum out, is going to have a very similar chip stack to Tiny from Hawaii. Tiny did arrive late yesterday, still was able to register into the main event. Didn't make it too long. He busted out. I hardly had a chance to see him. But here he is today on the final table, so we get plenty of Tiny time. And speaking of Tiny, he'll be first to act, and he'll fold. Kim is going to look down at Queen 10, and he'll fold. Taylor, he'll fold. Bob will look down at a couple of cards here, and that's 9-8 suited, so suited connectors for Bob is good enough for him to play. Satya folds. And then Adam Haskins, this is his first final table ever, I believe, is what he said when we were just starting up the broadcast. Heidi, 196,000 in her chip stack, is going all in. We'll see if Bob or Adam can pallet the amount. You know, if Adam is about 20,000 more. Actually, she's all in for 212. Yeah, it's going to be about the same chip stack for Adam. Bob, same boat. I mean, he's all in. He loses. He's down to 6,000 left. with blinds being at 8, 16, 16. You can't even afford a small blind. So we'll see what Adam decides to do here with his Jack 6. Yeah, wisely folds, so Heidi will pick up some, steal the small blind. That is a head. Satya, you got to sit down, bud. You're right in the camera. Again, we want to thank the Brian Rodriguez, of the owner of the Speedway and the Speedway Event Center. Obviously, this is a preferred venue for a tournament of this scale. Nice big open room, plenty of room for the production crew in the back, and can have commentary far enough away from the feature table where I can talk about the hands openly and without risking, compromising the integrity of the tournament. So here, Kim with pocket threes. And Taylor with pocket fours. See if he plays these middle low pocket pair same way he did to that pocket fives that ended up knocking Bossum out. So Taylor will going to raise it up to 40,000, so he's going to play the fours the same way he has played his fives. Adam's going to call with suited connectors, and Mike will probably get out of the way here. Yep. And Heidi's going to fold. Same thing with Tiny, so we'll have Taylor versus Adam. Also, Taylor picking up a $100 bounty chip by knocking Bossum out. Flop comes Queen 8 deuce. Adam flopping a gut shot here. Taylor again going to play his low pocket pair the same way. His fives on the flop. He'll bet 35,000. Adam will make the call. And the turn will come a 6 of hearts. No help to either player. Actually, Adam, I think that gave him quite a few more outs. Taylor's going to slow it down here and check. Adam's going to go all in here. Oh, the flush draw gets there too. So it looks like Taylor's going to size up the chips here. 121,000 more. He definitely can afford it, but it is a fairly live board. Somewhat connected, 6 and 8 in there, 7-5. Oh, who knows? Yeah, Taylor's going to lay it down, even though he has the best hand. But a good aggressive play by Adam and a good little showing here to sit. Let the guys know at the final table that I may have never been on a final table before, but I'm here to stay and I'm planning on winning. I believe Adam was one of the few people that did raise their hands when I asked who's going to win. So Adam, very confident, and beating out a field of 90-some players. Let's see how many. Yeah, 94 players. You got to be good. Got to have some luck involved, but you also have to be good to outlast 94 players. Same thing with yesterday. 170, I believe, players. Largest tournament ever for the Dakota Poker Tour. And Bob Silskar, he's going to go all in. 218,000. Satya will not stick around with that hand. Can imagine a call from high pocket pair, or ace jack, ace queen, ace king. Mike's gonna fold. Heidi's gonna fold. Tiny. We'll see what Tiny picks up here. Yep, nope, not good enough. Kim, jack 10, not quite good enough. Not good enough to gamble with, and certainly, you know, Kim would have been at risk there to go out, as Bob does have Kim covered. Full around to Mike. And not good enough for him. He's going to fold. Heidi, king 5 suited, is going to consider a raise here. Min raise, I believe. 33,000 is the bet. And I believe it'll be up to Taylor in the big blind. So he'll call for just 17,000 more. It's priced into the flop. Flop comes queen 5 king. Heidi flops 2 pair. Taylor will check though. And Heidi's going to shove all in. Taylor's going to fold probably pretty quick here. And there's no reason for him to stick around. But he's going to play. He's going to make her sweat a little bit. So blind still at 816, 16. Cost 40,000 to make an orbit around the table. Something to consider when looking at chip stacks. So Adam here with queen 10 gonna probably just call. Yep, so he'll call. Michael fold. Heidi has already folded. Tiny will fold as well, so fold, fold, fold over to Taylor. Taylor will fold in the small blind, and it'll be up to Bob, the professor, to check the option. Nothing to think about there. Just check the option. Let's see a flop. Let's get to see some cards. When the flop comes queen, I think Bob checked in the dark, but king 8, 9 on the flop. Bob hits his 9. Adam, a little gut shot here. Adam is going to bet that gut shot. 30,000. And it doesn't seem like Bob's going anywhere at that price. Bob with middle pair. There's the ace, so very connected board. There's now a flush draw out there for the players to consider. But Adam still needs a queen, jack, or 10 in order to take the lead in this hand. But here, Adam is going to make him pay to see 55,000 now. So he's definitely playing the part that might have a higher pair than the 9. But Bob makes a smooth call. And an ace on the river. Bob will check. Adam, is he going to fire a third bullet? And if he is, how much more? Because he's got to know he has no showdown value. He's playing the board. So you either need to bluff this or you need to just check and eat your medicine. Looks like he's sizing up something somewhere north of 100,000. Just kidding. It's 75,000. So progressively getting more and more on his bets. Bob is really going to have to pause and figure out what the heck's going on here. Is he comfortable calling 3 times with middle pair with a king and 8 and 2 aces on the board? Flush draw. The flush didn't get, or a straight draw. A lot to consider here. Bob in the think tank. Wow. Wow, Adam. Do not sleep on this guy. There's a reason why he's at a final table right now, and that is really strong poker from Adam. Great bluff went by. And I think we're going to pop on over to a replay, and we'll see what's going on here. So we got Bob right here. This is an all-in with the seat card. He's going all in on that. And Satya, look at him. What the heck are you doing, man? What do I got? I want none of that. He's going to toss those cards in the muck. Wait, oh, no. Yep, it's a bad hand. Look at that fold. It's what you call the 2-finger flicker. Mike's going to raise it up to 36,000. So Bob here, 9-7 of diamonds. Hits top pair, which sounds good, but it's 7. So Bob goes all in for 105,000. Mike, ace queen. I mean, do you call this? Unless you hit something. I mean, you don't want to rely on 2 cards to take the lead, especially on how unconnected the board is for Mike's hand. you can't bluff it all in, so should Mike call, this will leave him with about 35,000 in his chip stack. He's going to think about it a little bit more. Unless he thinks Bob was lying. He's a big liar. But yeah, just not worth it for Mike. So good little lay down there. There's your chip stacks there. Kim Rasmussen is going to need to start making a play with just 68,000. Tiny still sitting comfortable at the top. Michael Folden with a suited ace in her hand. Heidi's going to raise it up to 40,000. Tiny will fold. Kim will fold. Taylor will fold. He's going to make Heidi sweat for a minute. Bob will fold over to Satya. Satya much needed on a double up. We're definitely going to see, I would imagine, a raise here. So Satya, maybe slightly disguising his hand, will just flat on the 40,000. And we'll have two players into the flop, and the flop comes Queen Jack 4. So Satya spiking top pair. I think he just announced he's all in. Yeah, Heidi, I don't think is going to stick around for this. So Heidi, definitely want to give her a shout out. She is behind one of our sponsors, Randy's Diner. It's the owner. Heidi will be opening up a second location in West Fargo, Randy's Diner 2. And that'll be sometime this summer. I know with any time you're building a new building, this and that, there's always construction issues. So... but they're hoping to be opening on time. Looking forward, I'll definitely be going out to Randy's Diner too. But want to thank Heidi and for her support of the Dakota Poker Tour. So Tiny will raise it to 31,000. Taylor will fold. Bob folds. Satya. Oh, never mind. Bob hasn't done anything. He folds. Okay. On to Satya. He'll fold. Adam folds. And Mike Columbus. King 10. Same hand. I think it's good enough to call. But he folds. Okay. So a min raise, King 10. I mean, King 10's not an amazing hand, But, you see it's good enough for Tiny to raise it up even just minimally. So maybe Mike is looking around the table and seeing some other short chip stacks and wants maybe them to induce some action, maybe them go out. Oh. So blinds have gone up. Gonna fold around. So Satya with 272,000 will be all in with ace-6 suited. Mike maybe wouldn't mind. Yeah, Heidi's going to fold this for sure in the big blind. And that should pretty much do it on this hand. So Satya will scoop up the blinds and antes. So with 8 players remaining, your average chip stack, 332,000. And you can see 5 players are below that mark. So there's an evening out of chips distribution that could happen, or some of these players could, well, Kim and Mike need to start going all in. But it's so hard to when you get poor hands, but at the same time, you have to do it. I'd rather be going all in and risking it with a halfway decent hand than to be absolutely handcuffed with 2 garbage cards, and I have to, no matter what, let the cards fall where they may. But here we see Kim holding off, being patient, getting 8s, but Bob's going to call. So Bob's not going to try to isolate Kim's chips. He'll call the 54,000, maybe wants another caller. Adam, just another suited ace, he'll fold. Mike will fold. Heidi's going to fold. We'll see what Tiny picks up here. Tiny with 9s is all in for 730. So Tiny will try to box Kim or Bob out. Tiny is definitely one of those players that is not afraid to throw his chip weight around. And really, if you see Tiny at the table and he's got a big chip stack, be prepared to come away with a few black eyes and scrapes and cuts and bruises, because you will be punished from Tiny. And I've seen him do it with good hands, and I've seen him raise and just be a bully with nothing, because that's just who he is. So definitely an intimidating player, but he's so calculated on when he does it that it's gotten him to where he is today, and not just in this tournament, but always a force on the felts. Tiny making Bob think a little bit here. Bob would be behind should he call, but with 2 overs and too high, good ace jack, all he would need to do is spike one of those on those 5 community cards, and he could knock Kim out. And I mean, Bob's got 200,000 under the average chip stack, so he's basically in the same position as Kim, but just with a little bit more better sizing of a chip stack, to where maybe it's time. Wow, so Bob will let Tiny knock Kim out here. Kim is a great character. I know he's probably a little befuddled or that he has just pocket 8s and Tiny has 9s. Bob spikes an ace or a jack here on the cards here. He's going to be kicking himself. There it is, yeah. Bob kicking himself now. Of course, hindsight is 20/20. And a king of hearts on the river. I mean,
Good luck, everybody.
hi, yeah, Bob. It's tough to say. You know, are you going to find another premium hand when you only have a few more orbits around the table? But at the same time, he doesn't catch that ace or jack or nothing, and then he's knocked out as well. But here we're going to say quick little farewell to Kim Rasmussen, eliminated in 8th place. He'll be taking home $600 plus his bounties, which I think he's got 4 or 5. So he'll be coming away with about $1,000 here in winnings here at our final table for our bounty tournament. I think this is the first bounty tournament the DPT has ever done in the modern era. Yeah, a little shout out on our live stream on Facebook. We got Brian Thompson, starting to be a long-time listener, long-time caller, always in there. So, yep, aces first, then kings. That's exactly what happened last night. Wild start to a final table. Say hello to Steve Krebs. Yeah, we got some good graphics here. Just downloaded a new skin. They look pretty sharp. Mix it up here. Thornton Fox, want to welcome you to the live stream. Cindy, one of our dealers, thank you for tuning in. Dallas and Steve McNabb, Dallas DeWitt and Steve McNabb, thank you guys for tuning in. So Heidi raises to 45,000, 25K to call for Taylor. Which, anytime you have a nice chip stack, you never want to start, oh, I can afford this, I'll start throwing some chips here and there, see if I catch something. But at the same time, it's not a bad play to sometimes play less than premium hands. Try to throw people off from the range people would normally play. But here, deuce, jack, ace, all spades. Taylor flopping a flush draw. We're going to see Taylor check. Heidi not going anywhere. She's got that ace. She wants to... Yeah, there's an all-in from Heidi.
I figured if Tiny was sure enough he was beating Kim by going all in, I gave up the spot.
Other than the spades, not a well-connected board for Taylor, so... But this is where you don't want to just get loosey-goosey with your chips. Yeah, great fold from Taylor. Not willing to risk it on a flush draw. And that's how you maintain. That's really it. You want to maintain your chip stacks. You don't want to start donking them away and making calls you shouldn't normally just because you can afford it. So I would imagine Taylor is also responsible with his money. Probably has a nice little budget. He follows it every week or month because he didn't splurge. He didn't make an impulse call there.
Got it, homie? This card is full.
So Adam will call the 20,000.
Yes. Probably shouldn't bark that in front of the stream. The gift that gift keeps on giving.
And Bob all in. Or, sorry, Taylor's all in. And Adam will fold. Wow, Taylor on the button is going to raise it up to 50,000. So that's him using his chip stack to his advantage. I guess when I'm playing online poker, you know, I test, and I'm got a big stack. I'll test the small and big blind to see if they caught a hand. I don't even care what my cards are, but I'll make a nice little raise, try to steal some blinds and antes, start hacking away at those shorter stacks. Start putting them in positions where they have to go all in, almost no matter what on whatever the next hand is. See a nice little gallery of 2 people watching. Those are just the dedicated fans who don't want to watch on TV. They want to watch live poker. So Tiny going to raise it up to 55,000. Taylor, Ace-6 suited. Okay. Taylor maybe just not wanting. Okay. Bob again all in with just his seat card. He's going to be all in for about 105,000. Satya not good enough. Doesn't want to deal with that. Tiny will make the call. He's got one over. King 8 versus Jacks. Bob slightly in the lead. Well, not slightly. He's very much so in the lead. 82% favorite. He's going to need to dodge a king and a bunch of clubs. Ace, Queen, 2. There's already 2 kings out of the deck from the hands, so we're looking for 1 king in the deck. 7 of hearts, not helping Tiny at all, but Bob wants to see a red card, and there it is, a 9. Bob will double up off of the chip leader. Much needed double up. He'll still be under that average chip stack. I believe he's still going to be around 330,000. So there, Tiny all the way at the top. Then Taylor is trying to maintain that that nice chip stack. Let Mike in seat 9 is basically on the chopping block as the next one to go. But Bob, much needed double up. He'll get closer to that average and keep his tournament hopes alive.
Well, who knows? Well, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty common.
So Mike is in the big blind. So after this, he'll have to pay. Well, he's paying 40K right now with the big blind and the big blind ante. Another 10K off his stack, and he's not going to have much to work with, but he will be able to make it another orbit around the table, giving himself about 6 or 7 hands. Try to catch something decent. But the one thing I've learned about poker is the best hand is the winning hand. So Mike here finally wakes up in the big blind with King Jack. So pretty good hand. So Taylor, not sure what his cards are yet, but it looks like he's making the call. There it is. Okay. So he'll make the call, and we are at risk here. Taylor, very easy call. Almost no matter what he had. I mean, I would probably call. See what happens. Yeah, there it is. Flop. Ooh, Mike flopping needs a 10. Really just a 10 and the 10 only, but Taylor hits his ace. 9 of clubs on the turn. Mike still needs a 10 and a 10 only. Otherwise, he will be eliminated in 8th place. And a 6 of hearts on the river. Mike Columbus retires from the tournament. Not actually, he's eliminated. He gets knocked out. So that'll net him a nice little win here. So Mike Columbus will be eliminated in 7th place, take home $750 plus, this is a bounty tournament, plus the number of players he knocked out is worth $100 each. So it looked like he had about 4 or 5, maybe 6 chips in his hand, so he'll be walking away with around $1,200, $1,300. Nice little payday for a Sunday afternoon. Next person to be eliminated will take home $900. Remember, all the way at the top, though, $4,310. Satya Vegi is in 5th place in the leaderboard. If he wins, he's going to be right up there with Nick Ingolfsland, winner of last night's 11K. Over that, Bossum got 2nd place. They are 5 points off from one another on the leaderboard. Satya wins here tonight. He's going to be right in that conversation. I believe Satya also won earlier this year, so both him and Nick will be able to battle it out in the Tournament of Champions. Bossum, no titles this year. Has not won a tournament yet this year. So we'll have Heidi and Adam here battling it out. 10, 10, 8 on the flop rainbow. This might be a, well, Adam did hit the 8. Heidi's going to fire away for 60,000. Yeah, Adam's going to go all in here. And Heidi's going to throw it away, so she was kind of testing the waters to see what Adam would do. Does catch the 8 on a paired board. And Heidi doesn't want to gamble with that. She would have been at risk should she have called, so gonna keep things simple. Not the time to call and go all in. Maybe pre-flop would have been a more ideal time if there would be an all-in there. But it didn't happen that way, so Heidi will live to fight another day. Adam adding more chips to his stack. He can breathe a little bit easier. Taylor 7 deuce offsuit, most likely going to fold here. Bob will fold over to Satya. Satya's been a little quiet as of lately. Been a little card dead, but Adam has got an ace. And here's the point in the tournament. I believe 5-handed. I think we're 5-handed. Why can't I remember these things? Yeah, we're 5-handed. So 5-handed means the range of hands you would play should generally go up. Tiny hits the 5. Heidi's going to go all in with the open ender. Tiny has the 5. Is it time for him? Is it Tiny's time to call? Yeah, doesn't want to risk it. Doesn't want to double Heidi up. Adam, nothing there. He's going to fold. So Heidi will pick up blinds and annies and whatever else anyone called with. I'm afraid I have created a new term or saying or motion, the 2-finger flicker. Let's make that a hashtag. Let's make that go viral on Twitter. Bob waking up with ace-jack suited. He's probably going to be going all in here. I mean, he's got less than the average, so... Satya and Adam will fold. Heidi will fold, so will Tiny. Taylor's going to need a pretty dang good hand in order to call this, and he does not. I really like how Taylor's been playing thus far. What I've been seeing at the final table is really kind of takes his time, and that's just to kind of make people sweat. Kind of be consistent on the amount of time it takes to call or fold, even just to fold. But he does take his time, and it does make players sweat, where it's not a snap call, snap fold, snap whatever. Satya will fold. Adam will fold. Ace-9 for Heidi. She's going to reach for a bunch of thousands and probably means she's going to call. It's a lot of chips, but not a high value. But Tiny's going to raise it up to 70,000. Taylor most likely will get out of the way here. But again, here's taking his time. And so $50K to call for Heidi with her ace-9. And with that 10, 20, 20, it might be time we're going to color up those gray chips eventually. Maybe it's next time. Oh, boy. So Tiny spikes the queen. Heidi picks up a flush draw. Heidi's going to go all in with that. He's going to ask for a count. Naturally, it's okay. But Heidi, you see there, has 11 outs, an ace, or a diamond. Tiny, no diamonds in his hand. King of diamonds would be kind of a bittersweet for him. Tiny sizing up his chips. I think we're gonna get a call here. Tiny with top pair. I mean, he knows how to calculate these coin flips, which at this point it is a coin flip should he call. He oftentimes comes out ahead on these coin flips, but no, okay. Okay. Interesting. So Tiny, definitely known as a bit of a gambler, likes those coin flips, but didn't want to go there. And look at that guy right there. He's I'm Brian, everyone. I'm with the Dakota Poker Tour. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on either one of those, maybe both, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let your friends know. Any other poker fans out there, share it on your wall or whatever the heck you call it. Get the word out about the Dakota Poker Tour. Adam, you have 8-4. You're going to fold. Taylor's going to raise it up to 55,000. Bob folds, Satya folds. And that's going to get everyone to fold, so man, Satya is really going to need to start picking up some cards. It's been card dead though, so I mean, you can't blame him. He can't afford a couple more orbits around before it's really time to get going. Tiny will fold. Taylor, 55,000. Bob waking up with a suited ace. He's going to go all in. I think this is a great play from Bob. Satya folds. Adam will fold. And then it'll be up to Bob. Sorry, up to Taylor whether or not he wants to call 205,000 more. But he's going to think about it. Ace 5 is a bit more connected than Ace 9. However, Bob's got a suited ace. So what Taylor doesn't know is that if he does call, he's, one, not going to want to see hearts on the board. And two, he's not going to want to see a 9 on the board. He's going to want to see a 5. Oh, boy. I think he folded. Yep. Taylor folded. Again, not quite confident enough in his ace 5 as being the best hand. So he folds. Take the big decision out of his hands, not try to get into a coin flip or, what if Bob has anything. So nice little laydown from Taylor, maintaining that chip stack. I think we're going to be on break after this hand. All right, so we are going to have a break after this. We'll see if the players want to get some lightning going on. Nope. So we're just going to fold right into the break. It'll be a 10-minute break. Let the players stretch their legs out, use the restroom, get a drink, maybe get some fresh air, and that means we are also going to take a 10-minute break. You're watching final table action at the Dakota Poker Tour Full Throttle Open here at the Speedway Event Center. We'll see you all in about 10 minutes.
The blinds have changed. The small blind is 15,000. And the big
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our 10-minute break. Felt like 5, but, you know, that's how it goes. Time is a constant, and it does pass at the same rate. I think that has been physically proven by, or not physically proven, it's been proven by science. That's how science works, ladies and gentlemen. But we are here at the final table, Full Throttle Speedway. Full Throttle Poker Open at the Speedway Event Center. This is our final tournament of the weekend, and it is a bounty tournament. So not only are we playing for $4,310 at the top, but every player you knock out, you win a bounty chip worth $100. So this was a $200 buy-in, $100 to the bounty, $100 to the prize pool. I believe we had 94 players registered, and we are down to 5 left. And if you would like to follow along in another way, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and you can check out the leaderboard. Want to know who that what? Nonetheless, I'm getting at, go to dakotapokertour.com. You'll see our brand new website. Click on live updates. You'll get to see basically all this information that I've been talking about is, average chips. That's where I'm getting that from. Number of players remaining, number of registered players, all of that stuff, payouts, all of that can be seen at our new website, dakotapokertour.com. You can also see a list of all of our champions for this year. Nick last night, Brian Tweet, Brant Jenner from Buffalo City Showdown, Deontay Covington of Poor Decisions, John Wenlick, Fat sitting at the table now, Dead Money Open at M&J Saloon. You can see Martin Short of the Monster Stack back in January. That was up at Grand Forks at the Playmakers Lounge. Poker Brat Classic. That was Ashley Halfdahl. And I think she was the first winner of the Season XI. Yeah, because then we go back to last year. But that's all the things you can see on the new website. Really cool tool for us to use and for you to follow along with at home. You can check in on all that stuff. But here we find Adam Haskins, 30K to call with Jack 4 offsuit. You'll make the call. Heidi in the cutoff will fold. Tiny is going to go all in. He's going to put pressure on, Taylor, and Adam's not really short stacked anymore. He's got about 30,000 less than the average chip stack would be. Taylor, though, is going to make Tiny sweat here, but I don't see a reason why he would make a call. Has he even seen his cards yet? No. Okay. Bob had garbage, so he'll fold and Adam will fold. So Tiny will pick up blinds and antes from everyone, plus a call from Adam. Slowly but surely chip away, pun intended, at the other players' chip stacks. Tiny recently picking up another $100 bounty off of Kim Rasmussen that was sitting on his left. I think that was who went out last. So we'll fold around and not much happening there. Satya is really going to need a double up and even another double up after that if he wants a chance. Again, if you look at the leaderboard, Satya's in 5th place now with 8,434 points. So really, actually, Satya is going to be looking at, if he wins this, he'll be in the lead over Bossum and Nick Ingolfsland. Bossum right now is in 1st place in the Player of the Year points race by 5 points. That was all explained last night and even earlier today, but got some drama shaping up here. Taylor in the cutoff with some suited connectors will bet 65,000. Bob, the professor, will fold. Satya is still just card dead. You know, you hate to see it. That's a part of poker, though, is the fact that you can go card dead and sometimes for hours. And it seems like the one time you might catch a good hand, someone you go all in, someone calls, and they just barely inch you out. Have just a slightly better hand, or you just get unlucky. I mean, seems that maybe I'm speaking more from my own personal experience more than what actually might happen. So Tiny here picking up a suited king. Might expect him to raise it up here, 80,000. Taylor will most certainly fold here. Bob will fold. Come on, Satya. Let's get a good hand. What can you do? You know, Adam, too, kind of been card dead as well. Heidi hasn't really picked up too many good cards. Well, you don't speak so soon. Here she goes all in. Well, really, Heidi has been going all in quite a bit as of late. But the good cards have just not been in the other player's hands. She's seen a lot of folds, so has not really been able to double up. I think she actually did double up earlier, if my memory serves me correct. You can always flame me in the comments if my memory does not serve me right. So we did see a call from Tiny, so here it is. Okay, so King Queen versus King 9. Heidi in the lead, but at risk. Heidi happy not to see any hearts or diamonds out there. Another 10 on the turn. And a river going to need to avoid a 9, 8, or 2, and she does. Heidi will double up off of Tiny. She will now have more chips than him with 605,000 or so. Tiny down to 476,000, still above that chip average. But Taylor now in the lead with 717,000 in chips. Heidi in 2nd place, and yeah, Adam, Bob, and Satya below that 380,000 average chip mark, and I'm sure it's wearing on them. That's something that can get pretty frustrating, but we'll be looking forward to them making some moves here, just like Heidi did, into doubling up and trying to make a little run here at our grand prize tonight, $4,310. Bob is going to fold. Keep on folding in the free world is what he said. Satya, oi. Sometimes you have to force the action, though. You know, sometimes you could be in position. Obviously, this would have been a poor time to do it because Heidi, well, she won't. It's not time for her to go all in or bust yet. It's now she has chips to work with. She can make some raises and whatnot. And that's exactly what she'll do here. So raises to 85,000. Tiny in the big blind. It's going to have a decision to make here. Does he want to defend the big blind? And he does make the attempt with a less than superior hand, but that's how you can get caught into a very uncomfortable position. Deuce 3-10 on the flop. Neither player hits. Heidi, though, will lead out 60,000. Tiny will fold. So nice hand there for Heidi, scooping up more chips, and I believe that gives her the chip lead over Taylor. Yeah, there it is. There's Heidi at the top, 750,000. Your chip leader at the final table. Next player to go out, it'll be in 6th place, $900. So that's what we're looking forward to here. Well, if you ask me if I want $900 or 1,126, that's or 120, I'll take the 1120 every day. So no one really wants to take 900 when you can win more than that, but okay. So Satya finally gets Queen 10, not a bad hand, especially six-handed. He's gonna be in the blinds here soon. So that's a really, he's been card dead forever. So maybe he's just being super disciplined in what he plays. If he just wants, unless he's literally trying to coast out to the end. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen as much of Satya play, so I don't really know his average play style, but I guess Queen 10 is arguably could get you in a lot of trouble, but look at the other hands these players are playing with. 8-6, Jack 9, King 9. At the same time, I suppose he could have seen that three other players were in on this hand. Likely another player has a better hand than Queen 10. If you have a king or an ace in your hand or a pocket pair, Queen 10's not really that good anymore. So Taylor will fold after Heidi's bet, and Heidi getting closer to that million chip mark. So Tiny all in, yeah, was once the chip leader, now has less than the average chip stack. Again, that's him being his aggressive self. He likes calling. He likes to gamble a little bit. Made a good decision earlier by folding, but I guess we're gonna roll things back to a time in the not so near past. Here it is, a queen on the river, Heidi slamming her fists on the table in sheer joy. So there it is. That's how Tiny got to where he is now, disadvantaged, and yeah, huge moment for Heidi in this tournament. That's basically is the catalyst that sent her all the way to the top. might be expecting a move here from Adam. Not quite in the position that he has to go all in or nothing, but make a number of 30,000 chip calls, and you don't win those hands, and eventually you're going to find yourself in a pretty uncomfortable situation with your chip stack. Bob in the small blind will fold. Satya with the stronger ace will check his option. I think if you're Adam, oh my gosh. So, holy crap. We got a hand developing here. Satya flops trips. Adam flops a flush draw, the nut flush draw, mind you. 7 of hearts on the turn. We're going to check. Adam walking into a trap. Satya's been card dead forever. He's probably going to go all in here. He's going to string him along. Yep, stringing him along. Now, this is the exact situation that happened yesterday with Bossum. Had his queens, and right there, that same thing happened to Bossum. He either gave some cards for free or didn't make it expensive enough to play. Satya going to raise it up to or bet 55,000. Adam. I mean, Adam just has to worry about a full house, but I can see him. He might call because he doesn't want to risk it all, but give the nut flush, bud. Jack 9 is a possible hand, though. Yeah, but he's going to shove all in. Adam's ready. Satya calls. Oh, no. Adam's going to show the nut flush draw, and Satya is going to be left with about 19,000 in chips. He can't even cover the big blind. I can't remember where we're at in the blinds, but I think Satya actually might be the big blind here. We did chip up, so having 19,000 is not possible. Wait a second. So Satya will be left with 15K in chips. All right, Randy just had our dealer there. Had to make sure he didn't overpay. He was going to try to give him 5K back, but Satya paid Adam the correct amount, and Adam doubles up off Satya, and Satya's probably about to text home and say, I'll be home in an hour or less. Less than a big blind, 19K. Bob is going to be in a very similar position to Satya, but it's such a tough position for Satya to be in. He has been card dead for a while. Finally gets an ace in his hand, good enough to play, spikes trips, and then gets rivered on a flush. But on the turn, I think if Satya goes all in or is a little bit more aggressive instead of a small bet, I think Adam gets out of his flush draw. So it might have been a little mistake there on your line of betting, but granted, let's remember that Satya again is a very strong poker player and has been card dead for pretty much the extent of the final table. He might have won maybe 1 or 2 hands, but Satya will be all in the small blind, which is 15,000. So he can cover the small blind. And whoever is in the hand with Satya, looks like Bob will be. Well, we'll see what Adam does too. Adam. Now, interestingly enough, so Adam not wanting to chase that bounty chip. That is worth $100. And maybe he doesn't want to give up any more chips because he could be winning, 1,100, 1,300, 2,000, all the way to the top 4,300. So that chip isn't quite wasn't worth it to him. He'll let Bob take it here if Satya goes out. Queen 5-6. So Bob hits his 5. Satya is going to need to see a 10 or a 9. 3 of clubs on the turn. 10 or a 9. 10 or a 9. 5 of diamonds. Insult to injuries. Salt in the wound. Bob gets trip 5s, eliminating Satya Vegi. In 6th place, he will be taking home $900. Plus, I think he had a couple. Bounty chips. So he's going to be over $1,000 here that he's taking home. Satya there, 900. Yep. So next person to be eliminated will get 4 digits. That is 1 more digit than 3. And I think both players that raised their hand that they were going to win are eliminated. So maybe we can say these last 5 players don't want it so bad. I mean, if you ask the question, who's going to win this, and no one raises their hand but a few people, I have to take the impression that they don't want to win. Ooh, Taylor here waking up with jacks. I'm kidding, of course. Of course these players want to win some money. And Bob. Okay, I thought he tossed his cards in there. We almost had a Sudipta Das moment where we were thinking, oh no, Taylor. I mean, only 209 more thousand to call, but yeah, Taylor says you can see him just say wow there. Just a little wow, but Bob waking up with the aces. What an incredible moment for Bob here. So he's going to want to avoid a jack. If I was Bob Silskar, the professor. Oh, they're going to count it out here, I think. Taylor definitely has Bob covered, but they're going to... Yeah, about 290 is what Bob has. 9-4 king. Looks good for Bob. Bob's going to, again, avoid the jack. Otherwise, he's at risk here. Turn is a 9 of diamonds. And the river is going to be the queen of clubs, and Bob is going to double up off of Taylor Collins. That'll now put Bob in 2nd place behind Heidi. She's going to be up around that 800,000-900,000 mark. Bob, 650,000 in chips as we experience that infamous North Dakota earthquake. So Taylor waking up with jacks at just the wrong time. If you watch any poker vlogs, my favorite one to watch is Brad Owens. So, he's a big fan of those pocket jiggities. He is, but he isn't. And pocket jacks really isn't. It's a strong hand, but not against aces. And Bob proved that to be correct here today. Adam will call on the button, 30,000. Heidi will call as well, and Tiny will go all in. Tiny all in for 346,000. Basically going to toss his chip weight around, and you better have a damn good hand if you're going to go up against Tiny.
Just sitting here.
You said Tiny from Hawaii like you were cheering for him.
He is, because I wasn't.
Want to thank Bob's wife, Nicole, for tuning in. Dave Henry, again, tuning in. Blake Sandmeyer, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for your compliment as well. Great production. Brian Thompson, still vocal as ever and active as ever in our chat on Facebook. Adam, pocket sixes. He's going to bet 75,000. Heidi, queen jack here. Not too bad. So Heidi will make the call. Tiny has an ace. We'll see if he shoves all in again. Nope, not good enough for him. Not this time. Taylor, king 10 suited. He's going to make the fold. He's got about 275 in chips left, maybe 300. So 997 on the flop. Adam will bet 60,000. Heidi's got that to call. Of course, Heidi could counterfeit Adam on this board. Wow, raised to 130,000. The flush draw's there, or there's a flush draw out there. There's a straight draw, which Heidi doesn't have. But what a real gut check of a re-raise, or rather just a raise. Really making Adam sweat here. The only thing he can do is go all in or fold. Yep, there he is. Wow, he is all in. Going to test the size of the cojones of Heidi, and Heidi will fold. So, wow. Really strong play from Adam. Not backing away from a raise. So, and that's what's gotten him here, is not being a wuss, I guess. So hats off to Adam on that play. Maybe sniffing out that Heidi might be not really telling a true story and bluffing, really. And he was correct. So Adam will pick up some nice little chunk of chips there off our chip leader. Adam actually up over 700,000, so he's sitting real pretty on that chip stack. So our average chip stack will be just under 500K. Taylor's going to go all in. Was once our chip leader, now has just shy of 300K. Bob is most likely going to call here. So as we chipped up the 1,000 valued chips, that's why our chip counts are at not a denomination of 5. Bob folding there.
Attention players. The blinds have changed. The small blind is 20,000 and the big blind
Bob
is
may be scared of a pocket pair.
20,000.
Heidi gets another ace in her hand. She's going to raise it up. Heidi's now down to that average chip stack, about a 500K. She'll raise it up to 90,000 though. And blinds are definitely getting up there. They're now at 20, 40, 40. So 100K to finance a trip around the table. So Heidi will pick up the blinds and antes. So now she'll have about 150K more than the average chip stack. Yeah, so our blinds are getting a little not out of hand. I mean, they're going at the same pace, but compared to these chip stacks, they're getting out of hand for our shorter chip stacks, such as Taylor Collins. And Taylor's going to go all in with a far less than superior hand. But Bob doesn't know that. And neither does Adam. Adam has not a clue. And guess who else doesn't know? Heidi. But Heidi has King Jack, so she makes the call here, which will be for more than half her chip stack. I mean, it'll leave her with about a fourth of her chip stack left. But she's asking how much is it? So, yeah, Heidi might have a strong hand pre-flop, but the one thing that you must remember is any two cards can win. I guess one saving grace for Taylor, should Heidi call, is that he should almost guarantee to have two live cards. Heidi sizing up the chip stacks, what she'll be left with. I mean, it's a really tough call. I mean, you get down to this point, it's always a tough call. You know, what if Taylor ran into kings or aces or queens or ace king, ace jack? Heidi would be in a really sticky situation. But she's going to make the call. We're just going to double check. We're going to double check the chip stacks, make sure they're all correct. $380. So $380,000 total. So we're going to have King 4 or 8-4 versus King Jack. Taylor at risk here. Flop comes ace deuce 3. Taylor flops an open ender, which is basically a gut shot because he just can only take a 5. But a 5 and 8 is going to do it for him. And a 4 of hearts on the turn. Taylor gets a much needed pair. Needs to avoid a king or a jack or a 5 and a 6 on the river. Taylor's going to double up off of Heidi. That was definitely, it wasn't a bad call at all. It's just how the cards happen. So Heidi obviously still not happy with losing that. And you hate to lose to a hand such as 8-4 when you have such a pre-flop premium hand. Also given that we're 5-handed, so it can be harder, fewer and far between your premium pre-flop hands. But that's exactly why I said prior to Heidi calling that the best hand is the winning hand. Doesn't matter what those two cards are. So Taylor found himself in the middle bottom of the pack now in first place, $826,000. Heidi went from first to last, 222,000. She's going to be about 300,000 less than the average chip stack. So a lot of chips moving across the table, but not a lot of players' butts getting up out of the seats, which no one at the table wants to see their butt leave the seat, but every player wants the other player's butts to leave the seats. Heidi will make the call in the small blind, and Tiny will check. Heidi has the suits. Queen 3 jack, so Tiny hits his jack. Heidi, wow, Heidi went all in. Oh no, she did hit the 3, but Tiny has the jack, so oh no. So Heidi needs a 10 or a 3. There's a 2. It's too low. Otherwise, Heidi will be eliminated here in 5th place. And the river is a 7 of clubs. Tiny from Hawaii eliminates Heidi Rogenkamp in 5th place. Heidi will be taking home, what was it? $1,120. Tiny from Hawaii, $100 richer from the knockout of Heidi. Because remember, this is a bounty tournament. There is $300 more to be won by any one of these 4 players. Because as soon as you knock someone out, you get their bounty chip. And again, that's worth $100. So Tiny has a pretty nice stack of bounty chips. Same with Bob. I mean, you can't make it to a final table and not knock a couple people out. So you knock 3 people out, you've already paid for your tournament entry if you paid in for the full amount, and the rest is just pure profit. Bob there, though, I think has 4. Look at Adam. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's already won $500 today. The rest of this, he's got $200 profit. The rest of it is just cherry on the top. Tiny's going to go all in. Taylor's not going to get away from this. He's going to call. I can't imagine Taylor doesn't call. Opportunity to have nearly all the chips on the table. Yep. So Taylor will call. Tiny's 6s. We are at just under or over a coin flip, depending on who you're cheering for. Flop comes Queen 10-3. Taylor flops a gut shot. Tiny's not going to want to see any more diamonds or high cards out there. There's a 3 of hearts. So needs to voice an ace, jack, or king. Ace, jack, or king. No ace, jack, or king. There's a queen. So Tiny will double up off of Taylor. Tiny now the chip leader by a commanding $1.4 million. Taylor Collins was at the top. Now he's at the absolute bottom. Just under over 100,000 in chips. So, wow. So Taylor cannot connect on his big slick to a pair of 6s from Tiny. And, man, that guy will not go away. Tiny just said I don't even know what I was about to say. I was trying to connect some dots in my head, and it didn't come out so smoothly. So maybe just like the turbulence on his private jet from Hawaii, Tiny's run here on the final table is up and down and all around. So, wow, now Taylor is going to be in the position where I'm all in or I fold, and it's going to have to happen really soon. With just over 100,000 in chips, if he's in the big blind, which he's in the small now, so he's got a little bit of time. Tiny will call. Taylor's going to forfeit the 20K in chips. He'll be on the button next hand. Bob will check his option. So 2 less than superior hands here. We'll see a flop. Flop comes at 9-10-4. Both players get a piece of this flop. Tiny will most certainly bet this out for $55,000.
And a pair.
Well, Taylor is all in right now for $93,000. We'll see. He's going to be running into Bob's jacks. Actually, Bob was all in. Taylor's all in. We have a bunch of all-ins. It would not a no-brainer for Tiny to call, because he'd have to match Bob's 438, which is either rounded up or down to 435. But wow. Tiny's going to make the call, I guess. He does have over $1 million in chips, so Tiny's going to take this opportunity to possibly knock out 2 players. Wow, so we're going to have jacks versus queen 6 suited versus queen 10 suited. Tiny has the opportunity to knock out 2 players and become the ultimate chip leader by far. 8-7-3 on the flop. Bob's jacks are holding up. If I'm Adam, I'm loving this, because this could possibly put me in second place. Jack of clubs, Bob will hit trips on the turn. That should basically secure his win on this hand. He'll double up from Tiny and get another $93K in chips from Taylor. Taylor Collins eliminated in 4th place. 5th place. Eliminated in 5th place here at the Full Throttle Poker Open. Taylor Collins taking home $1,360. So a nice tournament for him. Adam, very happy to not be in that hand, see a player eliminated. And yeah, wow, incredible hand for Bob there. Doubling up off the chip leader. And another bounty chip in his stack. So $100 richer for an all-in there, knocking a player out. Yeah, Bob's definitely happy with that hand. And that's going to put Bob right at about $1 million in chips. He's going to be neck and neck with Tiny. Adam, a little scared now, though. He's got 2 monster chip stacks to his left and to his right. So Adam will call 20,000. Tiny checks his option. Again, we'll have 2 less than superior hands going at it. 3, Jack 3 on the flop. Adam in the lead with his 9-8. 3 of clubs on the turn. We're going to check. I'm going to guess we'll see a check all the way down. Just kidding. Tiny's here. He doesn't allow people to see cards for free. So Tiny gets Adam to fold the better hand. Okay, and I think we're going to go back to a time in the near past. Oh, maybe not. Oh, right there. Ooh. Okay, so that was going to be a replay of a fold. So Adam with the 5-finger shuffle slide with a 180 360 card flick. So if he was in if folding cards was like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, he would have earned probably 1,100 points on that move alone. Adam here with Jack 7 suited though. This is live. I thought we weren't running the replay because we were on Adam. The guy hardly moves. And then the replay was of Adam, so I wasn't sure where we were at. Tiny, King 10. And the fun thing about these replays is that I'm not told what we're replaying. Where I tell him, let's replay it, throw it out there, and let's see what I say. So Adam all in with a suited jack. Tiny's going to call. So here we are. Adam Haskins, tournament life at stake. 4-4-8, no diamonds. Or 1 diamond. He's going to need to see more diamonds if he wants to have a chance at 10 of hearts. That pairs it for Tiny. He's going to need a jack or a 9. He does have a straight draw out there and a 6 of hearts. That is going to do it for Adam Haskins. Wow. Let's remember, this is Adam Haskins' first final table ever in his poker career. And he's coming away with 1, 2, 3, I think 3, 4, 5, maybe $600 from the bounties. And on top of that, he is going to be in 3rd place, taking home $2,000. So it's not that he's no stranger to playing in poker tournaments. It's that this is his first cash final table. And he's going to take home $2,000. Made a really nice run. Trying to make it to the top prize of $4,310. But there you see Tiny has just a wall of chips in front of him. He's going to have 1.7 million, probably more than that. Bob's probably looking at right around $1 million. He does have a nice stack of 100K chips. Those are the red ones. A little shout out to Goose there. I think we have a dead card, so we quickly swapped one of those out. So I want to give a shout out to Shidoshi Madison, Nicole Silskar again, Danny Daniels, and Mike Merrick. Thank you guys for tuning in to the live stream. And we are heads up here at the Speedway Full Throttle Poker Open. Tiny from Hawaii versus Bob Silskar. $4,310 on the line. Knowing how aggressive Tiny generally is, I can't imagine he's going to be forcing some action here for sure. And just like that, Tiny's going to bet $200,000. Bob's going to fold. So, and Tiny being the chip leader, another scary thing. However, he has been known to get caught a couple times. Bob Silskar, obviously no stranger to final tabling at the at DPT events. I know last year was runner-up in Valley City. I've seen him plenty of times on the stream. Tiny, I believe, also final tabled last year in Valley City. And so these two, one of these two is going to be a new DPT champion this year. No implications on Player of the Year for these two, but certainly taking home $4,300 is going to feel pretty good. You're going to be invited to the Tournament of Champions, which, again, Tournament of Champions will be coming up on May 22nd, bar 9. That'll be a Sunday. We're going to kick off at noon at bar 9 for the Tournament of Champions. So all the players who won a DPT event in Season XI will be playing in that, so long as you show up. And then about 2:30 p.m. the same day will be the DPT Season XI Player Appreciation Free Roll. If you participated in a DPT event this year, you are invited to come to Bar 9 May 22nd for a Player Appreciation Free Roll. Let me repeat that. Free roll. And both of those tournaments that I mentioned are for $1,500. Oh, goodness gracious, put your hard hats on, folks. Maybe get outside. The famous North Dakota earthquake has struck again.
The big Samoan.
You want something to drink, Tiny?
No, I'm good.
Sure?
Thank you. Yeah, I got a glass of water here.
Okay. Bob, you want a beer?
Yes, please.
Coors Light?
Yes, please.
Pat, you sure you don't want something to drink, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So, just getting word from our research team, Tiny from Hawaii, last player to register for this tournament. So, I'm going to predict, not that I definitely am not cheering against Bob, but I feel like Tiny's going to win this on a river. Whatever the hand is, here's a queen on the turn. Tiny pairs his queen. And Bob will fold. Jared Strode in the house still. He won... Man, I think he won Valley City Eagles Club last year, and he actually free-rolled into that event, if I remember correctly. Free-rolled his way by playing at the Castleton Vets Club FPN Poker Night Bar League, won a seat, and then wins. I think that was last year. That was one of my first interviews, I think, with players. So Tiny here with ace 10. He will raise to $120,000. Bob, queen 8, will make the call. Tiny will bet $120,000. Bob will fold. So Tiny chunking Bob little at a time. It's a nice sized pot for him. Bob's going to need to start making a push. Otherwise, a double up off of him really won't put him at too much of an advantage against Tiny's monster chip stacks. I mean, there's definitely a sense of urgency but doesn't mean you should necessarily force it. He has a little bit of time. Again, when we're heads up, we do take away the big blind ante. So the blinds are just at 20, 40. So Bob will call in small blind. Tiny will check his option. Flop comes 4, 5, 3. Tiny checks his 5. Bob will check. 5 of clubs on the turn. Tiny hits trips. Be 60,000 from Tiny, and Bob will fold. Speaking of Valley City, this last year, I think set a poker record. If you guys were tuned in at that for that tournament, for the longest heads-up match in the history of the world, 2.5 hours. That was. Oh, Tiny's gonna go all in. Bob probably gonna fold. Doesn't have good enough hand. Yeah. Bob, a professor, also actor, aspiring actor, as evidenced there by his thinking that he was contemplating. Tiny, in his spare time when he's not playing poker in North Dakota, back in Hawaii, surf instructor. So, letting people know how to shred the gnar out there on those waves. Tiny from Hawaii. Pretty talented guy.
When I'm getting down there where I'm going to have it. Yeah, and you know.
Next player to go out will end the tournament. But they will get $2,700. Not bad for a Sunday afternoon and evening. First place, though, $4,310, plus an invitation to the Tournament of Champions, May 22nd, bar 9. That's a Sunday. Cards in the air for that at noon. So we're going to check. Jack, Queen, 8 on the flop. 5 of hearts. Tiny will get his pairs 5. Bob will check. Tiny bets 55,000. Bob will quickly fold. So Bob says he has 500,000, but I'm seeing more like 385,000 left in his chip stack. So Tiny, almost not even slowly but surely, but quickly and swiftly bringing Bob down to not a very big chip stack. So Bob's going to have to shake the dice. He's going to have to do something pretty quick here. I don't know if those chip stacks are exactly accurate. We might have to get a recount on Bob's chips. So I'm seeing 300,000 in ones, 350,000 with the yellows. Yeah, he's going to have 350,000 in his hand. He's going to ask Tiny to break out. So Bob, it is 40,000 per hand if he sees a flop. 40K per. But that chunks you pretty quick. Tiny up over 2 million in chips now. Not only that, but our clock is just saying the blinds are going up. Tiny 7s, Bob. Tiny's all in. Bob has Jack 7. Bob calls. So this could be the tournament right here, folks. Tiny needs to avoid a jack. He'll get $100 and a bounty off Bob. Count him. Well, actually, yeah. Wow. So right here, we're going to look at a flop. Bob's going to not want to see. He's going to want to see a jack. He's going to want to see a jack and a jack only right now. 310,000 total. So Tiny not sweating this at all. He's in a really good position. About a 3-1 favorite. So queen 8-8 is the flop. Now Bob can have a jack or a queen, as it would be counterfeiting Tiny. Wants to see a jack or a queen. There's a 10, and that just opened up to 13 outs. He's got a third of the deck that he can hit, and he'll survive. And he does not survive. Tiny with a full house. Bob Silskar, the professor out of Mayville, eliminated in second place, will take home $2,700. Tiny from Hawaii, hardly able to cover gas money with the win here, $4,310. But big round of applause. Great tournament for Tiny. I'm going to say about damn time he wins one. Such a strong player, exciting to watch. Wow, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back once we get an interview with the winner, Tiny from Hawaii, your 2022 Full Throttle Poker Open champion. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to our exit interview for the Full Throttle Poker Open at the Speedway Event Center. I'm joined here with Tiny from Hawaii. How does it feel, Tiny?
Great. It's hard to believe I actually won coming in max late reg, but hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, last one to register, first one to win this tournament. So what an incredible stat there. Describe playing against Bob Silskar, the professor. He's a very strong player.
Bob is a strong player, but I don't think he caught a hand at all. Heads up was pretty quick. I caught a lot of hands and sensed a little weakness in some of his play and took advantage of it. And I don't think he even had a chance to play anything. I mean, it's too bad because he's a really good player, and we could have had a hell of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a number of players that were just card dead for a while, so that definitely had something to do with Bob not catching anything. $4,310 richer. What are you going to do with the money?
Play more poker.
A classic response there from Tiny. Does that even begin to cover the expenses of the private jet from Hawaii?
No, but that's the expenses from Hawaii are just part of the fun.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Where does this rank? Last question. Where does this rank in your poker career?
As far as big wins?
Big wins, experience.
Oh, experience is always DPT always puts on a good tournament. I enjoy playing at your events, and probably top 10.
All right, yeah, and I said it on the live stream when you won, about damn time. I've seen you so many times, so I'm really happy to see you in the winner's circle. You're now invited to the Tournament of Champions May 22nd at Bar 9. So congratulations to Tiny from Hawaii. He's going to get the jet fueled up, get her going on the way home. So congratulations. Excited to see you, and that does it for us here for the 2022 Full Throttle Poker Open here at the Speedway Event Center in West Fargo. I'm Brian with the Dakota Poker Tour. We'll see you at Bar 9, May 22nd, Player Appreciation Free Roll. Beat you to the bar. How about